there's a new administration at the Muslim Judicial Council, and there's attempts to renew relationships, or rather um, reaffirm relationships and strengthen relationships, and work together towards some level of collaboration. We cannot all be of the same city, beyond the city. We cannot all be of this ummah of Sayyidina Muhammad and be working apart. Now, I know, in all our spaces, talk is cheap, and it is more about action. So I want to speak very little, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us afiyah, well-being and protection, and the guidance to work towards action, so we can see ourselves in a year or two having collaborated and worked together, not only for our development, but for the development of our community and the next generation. So, as imams in your areas, the request is one of based on the respect and an appeal. We have ideas regarding the quality of Quranic education and recitation in our madaris and in our hifz institutions. Ideas as to how we can, in a basic manner, a simple manner, inshallah, work towards a level where we all are generally teaching the same thing as far as the fundamentals are concerned. Sheikh Ismael mentioned that there are 2 hifz institutions that he is aware of that works on Saturdays, and he would like to see in the future the students from these hifz institutions participating in our regional hifz competition, and hopefully in the future representing us in our national hifz competition. There is a national board, that we have some contact with, but all that's required of us is on an annual basis every year is to have a regional. And it's the same schools that participate every year. And sometimes it's the same faces, same students. And why Quran? And again, we have our own challenges in our community, and every community is different, but we believe that the Quran is the rope of Allah that we have to all hold on to. And we know that the kids out there are tested with much more than what we were tested 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because of the phones, because of internet and everything else. They need a safe haven, they need something to hold on to, and beyond recitation, beyond memorization, there's some content that can be shared that can hopefully, inshallah, open hearts even more, our kids' hearts even more to the book, and strengthen their and our relationship with the book. It's about us not working independently, but sharing and working and hopefully growing together as a community of imams, a community of teachers, a community of guides in our madaris. Right? So, the idea, which we will take to all the other imam and councils as well, is to, through you, make contact with the madrasa teachers in your areas. Right? It might be at your masjid, or it might be at your masjid and other masajid, and somehow, even if everyone doesn't come, but we start with something. Okay? Where we go through the basics and we all see we're on the same level. It might be that what is being taught is correct and sound, but all you needed was a thumbs up. All you needed was that. Or it might be that 99.9% everything is, and we all work, and there are no perfect reciters of the Quran. There are no perfect reciters, but we all can work towards a level of progress and a level of growth together. That's the idea. So it might be that in this madrasa it's 99.9%, but there's one thing maybe we pick up, okay, try to tweak that a bit. Yes. And at the end of the year, whatever is shared here, without mentioning names, whatever is shared in one region will be shared with the other region. Whatever is shared there is shared by this region as well. Even though they might have different challenges, but we share whatever information was distributed, so we could all at the end of a year grow together. That's the idea. Right? So, firstly, I spoke with Sheikh about three levels of interaction. Number one is the teachers themselves. Number two is the students, where we want to unearth talent. Right? And number three is the imams, but that's informal. So number one, where the madrasa teachers are concerned, I do not know your teachers. Teachers do not know me. We want to introduce ourselves to each other, and even if it's bi-monthly, every second month, or once a month, we come together for 40 minutes to an hour to discuss certain matters pertaining to recitation, or it may be we don't want to discuss it, we just want to recite to each other. One recites, others repeat, or go through some sections of the Quran together, and then there's open to questions, etc. You with me? Once a month. Once every second month, depending on availability, but we start something. If it's theory, you want theory, then it can be part of the session is recitation, other part is theory, but basic. And at the end of the day, we can formalize it. Whoever attends and completes this theory with us can get certified, a certificate from the Department of Quranic Affairs under the Muslim Judicial Council that they have participated and completed a particular structured course in the basics of certain aspects. Something like that. So we work on some standard together. This meeting here is not to make any particular decision. This meeting is for me to share what is in my heart and what I would love to attempt, and open the floor to your suggestions. So then after we get your suggestions as well, we have a shura, consult, and we see what's the best way forward. That's number one. So an idea of how we can potentially, in a simple manner, interact with the madaris teachers to work towards some platform of open discussion and growth with this recitation, only if they want, because the talqeen is important, back and forth to hear how potentially is done. You can watch a few things and try, etc. And then that can be attempted in the madaris, or stay with me, and or it's about some theory. And we can have a structured basic course that can at the end of the day be certified by the Department of Quran and by the MJC, and it will be known and recorded that these individuals, these madaris teachers, completed this particular course in this particular. That's number one. Number two, where the students are concerned, in each of your masajid or in your madaris, there may be students who are vocally talented, good voices, and they make adhan or they recite well, etc. What can we do to help them? So now, on this note, there are practice sessions and courses that are run out in that side of town, which either can be brought here when we meet these students, or we facilitate for these students to come there. On that note, Mullah Hashim Qasim, I texted him yesterday. He was supposed to be on a flight last night back from Makkah. So he's going to be here, and he said either Wednesday or Thursday I must meet him. So I told him I'm going to meet the imams. Sons of, he says he's pushing that a certain budget be put aside for students and teachers who wish to develop themselves, especially in the field of Quran. What it means, I don't know yet. He wants a report from me as to how many teachers are potentially going to be part of a program, how many students could be potentially looked at, if they need transport, if they need books, if they need whatever, we can work out something just as a support. And initially, like I said, the idea is not clear, the idea is to be refined, but I would love it to be less talk and more walk, more action together. But that's number two, unearthing talent. There's definitely talent in your masajid, definitely talent in your madaris that love to listen, or they're using their voices maybe for other things, but you know, if this child must recite, or even make adhan, it would be so outstandingly powerful. So how can we help these kids? Expose them to other kids who are also reciting, expose them to some programs, the basics, and help them to nurture great talent, unearthing talent. Right? That is number two. Number 3 was informal. You can always touch on number 3 again. I heard when I entered, Sheikh asked, what do the Imams see gained from this relationship with the MJC? Well, what can we, how are we benefiting? Nothing's happening. Things need to be clear. And like I said, there's a new administration, a new presidency, a new exco at the MJC that want to work. All that they need is, they need to be aware of what the needs are out there and what can be done. And if we push for it, I tell you, I give you my word, inshallah, if we are clear on what we wish to do, and Allah grant us sincerity, we'll push to have it seen through and have it accomplished, inshallah. So, this Sheikh's name, obviously, I have the same name, Ismael, and you must have been introduced to Mawlana Yusuf. Khalifa? Khalifa? No. Khalifatullah al-Awwal.